Okay, guys, we're a little bit better here. Yeah. South from 98th. Hey there, guys. Yeah, you know what? Very little information trickling through at this time. I can tell you that we are in a very sensitive area here, considering the LAX control tower and their needs as far as inbound and outbound traffic here. From what we gather here, this is going to be a murder suspect here. This pursuit has been going on for about 20 to 30 minutes at this point here. Now, we are in South LA on the east side of the 110 freeway here. This murder suspect, or reported a murder suspect here, has been driving extremely erratically and at very high rates of speed through this South LA neighborhood here. Now, exactly how they determined, that this guy was a wanted suspect here, we just don't know at this point. That again, that information is kind of trickling in, but he has been driving very erratically, very fast, going through stop signs, through stop lights, into oncoming lanes of traffic, and it has been a very, very dangerous situation here, as you can see now. He is going now eastbound away from the 110 freeway here, and just kind of making his way through the South LA area. Basically, we are right now below Century. Below Century is where all of this activity is taking place. We understand that this pursuit may have originated or initiated somewhere in the Southgate area here, but we have moved over towards South LA. We are east of the 110 freeway, south of Century, and now essentially just north of Watts, the Watts neighborhood. So that's kind of where we are at here. Again, a murder suspect, a reported murder suspect on the run here in South LA, guys. Okay, 5's got you. Okay. What are they asking? I don't know, Lou, is the short answer there. What I can tell you is that the LAPD is in pursuit at this point. CHP will generally take over if requested by the LAPD, especially if it's in their jurisdiction. We're talking about the freeways here. Being that we're in South LA, it appears that LAPD Southeast Division is still in pursuit here. CHP might be standing by. I don't know that they've taken over the pursuit at this point. I think they are basically yielding to the LAPD at this point. Again, if this thing enters a freeway, or if the LAPD decides that they would like some intervention from the California Highway Patrol, they will request that assistance here. And again, that probably won't happen unless this goes onto a freeway or what have you. But again, yeah, LAPD in pursuit. We're going northbound now, and again through South LA. We just crossed Century Boulevard northbound, and you can see several units. By my count, we're talking about 7 to 8 units who are in relative close proximity to this pursuit suspect here. Again, northbound now, traveling through South LA, and again, we are just kind of trying to keep up with the actions of this guy here. He's making his way around that trash truck and just driving extremely erratically. He'll, without any regard, he'll change lanes. He'll go into oncoming lanes of traffic, blow through stop signs, blow through stop lights, and it's just an unpredictable situation here, and that's kind of what makes it dangerous, especially given the fact that we are on surface streets. You had just mentioned, Lou, a couple of moments ago that this guy just blew through the intersection with pedestrians, and that makes for an extremely dangerous situation here, with little regard for commuters, with little regard for pedestrians. Look at this right now. He's going to come into a tight intersection here with cars, slower traffic. He's going to go blow right through the intersection there, and again, this is more of what we've been witnessing from this guy. We can see up ahead some of the cars are trying to pull over to the right, but again, just an extremely dangerous situation that this guy is putting a lot of us through. Guys? Yeah, and it makes for an extremely dangerous situation. We're basically on Hooper Avenue northbound, and we'll be coming up on Nadeau Street. We're coming up on the numbered streets, you know, from 82nd all the way down through the 70s here. Once we pass Nadeau Street, we'll be heading up towards Florence Avenue here. But, yeah, this guy, well, it appears that the LAPD has given him about maybe half a block's worth of space as they kind of continue the pursuit here. We do have airships above here, so the LAPD airship is following very closely, and they are not going to let this guy go. But as you can see, he's doing whatever he can to just kind of make his way out of this particular area here. We have gone, well, essentially from Southgate through South LA, Watts all the way northbound here. Again, Hooper Avenue northbound, and he's just going to be coming up on another intersection, guys, momentarily here with cross traffic. Does he blow through the red? Let's have a look here. He's going to make the right turn on the major, and that is going to be Florence Avenue. Florence Avenue. So we're only a couple of blocks away from the big postal annex here in South LA, and now we're heading away eastbound on Florence from Hooper, and that's kind of the direction that we're headed right now. Oh boy, okay, wow, he almost T-boned that taxi truck there. So just you can see just from the shots that we're offering up here that this guy is putting a lot of people in extremely dangerous, oh my gosh, dangerous situations right into oncoming traffic. Almost hit that car there. Now again northbound, and now we're talking about maybe Compton Avenue here, guys. I have to talk to the control tower here. Let me hand it back to you for a minute. Yes. Compton Avenue through Gage. Yeah, it looks like a Dodge Neon, maybe a Plymouth Neon for what it's worth there, traveling northbound. We're still on Compton Avenue, just past Gage, making our way through the north part of South LA here, just passing Gage on Compton. We'll be coming up on Slauson here in about 1 block. But yeah, just like a Dodge or a Plymouth Neon here, just a small 2- or 4-door sedan, kind of a compact car. And we're just coming up on Slauson. It looks like the intersection mostly is clear, so he's going to be making a westbound turn on Slauson from Compton Avenue, and here we go westbound, guys. And again, this guy, well, the LAPD is still giving him a little bit of room here. We're talking about maybe half a block of space here, and what I count 7 to 8 cruisers of the LAPD still in relative close proximity. He's westbound on Slauson, and he's just coming up on Hooper Avenue. He's going to go right through the intersection. Man, oh man, right through the intersection there, and heading over towards the next major, which should be Central, and beyond Central over towards Avalon here. So yeah, you can see this 4-door sedan here. It looks like at least the driver here, we don't know about any occupants in the car. We have not heard anything specific about that. So again, we'll kind of wait to see how this plays out here. But he's just not at the intersection with a pedestrian, and thank goodness he or she, for that matter, has the decency to slow down. But again, right through the intersection, and that's going to be Central Avenue, westbound on Slauson. We've just crossed over, and now we'll be coming up on Avalon beyond that. So again, this guy's moving at a kind of a moderate rate of speed at this point, but we've seen moments where he drives extremely erratically, extremely dangerously, and very fast. And so, yeah, we'll kind of wait and see how this plays out, but he continues to travel westbound on Slauson, and just be coming up on, bear with me here, the 110 freeway in another mile or so. But before he gets there, and as we have seen, he has no problems making left or rights or what have you to just kind of change direction and get everyone going another way here. So we'll kind of wait and see what happens or what plays out here. But, well, there you go, southbound turn, and that is going to be, bear with me here. Okay, hang on here. Avalon made the left turn on Avalon. So now southbound on Avalon is where we are going here, guys. Southbound Avalon, and again, the LAPD giving him kind of a semi-wide berth here, about half a block of space here. But we're kind of in and out of some of the buildings here, but we're trying to make our way a little bit closer to where some of that action is going to be. But bear with us just a moment here. We're going to try and get on top of this as best we can. Perhaps even get a look inside to see how many people are in fact in the car. Of course, we have a driver at this point. We don't know about any additional occupants in the vehicle here. That is always a consideration here. But given that it's a murder suspect, we just don't know anything, and all possibilities are basically in play at this point. So, southbound on Avalon, just coming up to Gage, and he's right through Gage. And the LAPD coming up on cross traffic. Okay, LAPD had to slow down there. They had some cross traffic to contend with, but now they are through the intersection as well. The guy maybe got a couple of lengths ahead of the LAPD at this point, but again, southbound on Avalon, past Gage, and we should be at some point coming up on Florence. We should be coming up on Florence here shortly, and that is going to be the next major intersection that he is going to have to negotiate at this point. Guys? TV5 east of Main, we'll go. Okay, now turning west. Oh, and going to keep going straight down south. Okay, different philosophies, different theories there, and different working policies that different agencies utilize here. But again, the LAPD just giving them a little bit of room here. We're working through a critical area here where the LAX control tower has given us very specific instructions to stay east of Main Street because of incoming traffic here. Now the LAPD airship is overhead, so for what it's worth, as wide a berth as the ground units are giving this guy, the LAPD airship is overhead, and they are following this guy very closely. Now again, southbound on Avalon, and we're just coming up on Manchester here. Let's see how he gets through the intersection. Oh boy, okay. And now he's coming eastbound on Manchester, coming towards us, guys. Let's see if we can get into the windshield and see if there's anything there. We've got some front end damage on that Neon here, so I don't know if that is a result of some activity here during this pursuit, but I can tell you that there is some damage to the front end of that Neon here. So he is just coming up parallel to us, essentially, now eastbound on Manchester, and coming up on, let's see here, McKinley, and we'll be coming up on Central shortly here. Coming up on Central here, but I have not been able to see very clearly inside. Just in the next 100 yards, guys, he's going to have to stop or pull over or something, do something to negotiate the slower traffic here. Okay, let's see what he does. Okay, he's going to jump the curb. He's going to jump the curb through the parking lot here. And, wow, gosh, darn it, my goodness, southbound on Central. Through the parking lot from Manchester right here. So the LAPD doing the very same thing, going through that same very same parking lot here, and now heading southbound back towards Watts is essentially where we are headed, guys. So yeah, hard to know if there's any additional people in the vehicle here, but again, the LAPD now getting a little bit closer to him. The LAPD airship still very close to him, in very close proximity, and again, southbound coming into the Watts area on Central is where we are at this point. And very soon we'll be coming up on 92nd. Once he hits that kind of dogleg bend right there to the left, that is going to be 92nd. You see the spike strips that they just threw out here. I don't know that they caught them, but there's certainly the possibility that they did. But you just saw that one unit there throw out the spike strip, and hopefully they got one or two of the tires there. Guys? Oh, 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 oh. 100th. Okay, now he's going down the side street. He's going down the side street. He's going down the alley, and now he's going to be down on Century Boulevard here. Eastbound on Century, guys. Watkins Park, Century, passing Success. Southbound on Success. Yeah. TV5 copies, thank you. Okay. Okay, westbound on 103rd, from Success. What's going on? 103rd, Central. Northbound on Central. We are just north of the Watts area here, basically circling Watkins Park here. That's the Ted Watkins Memorial Park. And you saw him on the north side of the park on Century Boulevard going eastbound, turned south on Success, now westbound on 103rd, and now back northbound on Central. And we've just made that turn back westbound on Century Boulevard here. So Century Boulevard westbound from Central Avenue is where we are here. Yeah, this is going to be part of the greater Watts area. Just on the, bear with me here. Okay, yeah, 5's got him. Okay, Century Boulevard going away from Watkins Park here, heading back into South LA, over towards the 110 freeway here. So we've just passed Clovis. We'll be coming up on some of the other majors here. Avalon Boulevard here coming up shortly. But again, several units still in pursuit of this guy. He's just made the right turn northbound. Don't know if this guy has any rhyme or reason to the direction that he's traveling here. All we know is that he's doing everything he can to just kind of stave off the police department here. But again, now traveling northbound through the neighborhood, and okay, it looks like he maybe had thoughts of making the left turn there, but maybe not. We're in the residential neighborhood here, so just going northbound through the neighborhood. He looks like he's slowing down, kind of wondering what am I doing here, but I guess we'll see over the course of the next several minutes here. I can tell you that there are a couple of LAPD units ahead of him. They're going to try and spike him. Okay, he just made the left. They just tried to spike him, and he made the left turn and avoided the spike strip. You just saw that there. So, wow. This guy's kind of got his head on a swivel here, kind of looking out for any and all possibilities here. But we're still coming through the South LA neighborhood, westbound through the residential neighborhood, and we'll just be coming up on Avalon here shortly. He'll be coming up on Avalon, and that's a pretty quiet intersection right now. Let's see what he does. He's got a unit coming up from the south who was very close to intercepting here. So northbound on Avalon is where we are right now from one of the numbered streets, perhaps 97th, somewhere in that neighborhood. But now traveling, accelerating northbound here, and so let's see what he does. But again, we're kind of seeing this pattern here where there seems to be no real rhyme or reason to the directions that he is going. He's just kind of making circles around North Watts, South LA, that kind of general vicinity here. But it doesn't appear to be any rhyme or reason in terms of particular neighborhoods or particular areas that he's circling. He's just kind of working the east side of the 110 freeway, north of the 105. Guys. Okay, right turn. Okay. Okay. Ah, squeezing through cars. Wow. Firestone past Compton. Woo! Oncoming traffic. Charles Drew Middle School. I tell you what, a sight that makes you cringe is just what we saw just a couple of minutes ago here. Now, basically, we're on Firestone Boulevard, traveling eastbound. Now, Firestone and Manchester connect right at about Hooper Avenue here, and Firestone is where we are right now. We just passed Charles Drew Middle School about 2 minutes ago, and you saw there was a lot of kids out there, a lot of kids, and this guy just kind of making his way through, and it's just an exceedingly dangerous situation here for pedestrians on the road, especially for someone who is driving as erratically as this. Now, again, this is just a very dangerous situation to be in, considering that this guy, without any predictability here, is driving extremely erratically, going into oncoming lanes of traffic, putting pedestrians in danger. You saw right there where he was going into oncoming lanes of traffic, as Mark noted just a couple of minutes ago, and that was right near Drew Middle School. So, just a very dangerous situation here. Now we're going to be crossing over Alameda here shortly. We've just crossed over Compton Boulevard here, and we're again on Firestone Boulevard. We'll be getting over to Alameda here in about another mile or so, and we'll know at that point what he intends to do. But he continues eastbound on Firestone, and this is just it continues on. Just kind of looking ahead, I can tell you that Firestone is pretty much as you see it, very lightly traveled, especially in that eastbound direction over past Alameda here. I can tell you it bunches up just a little bit, maybe a little bit farther ahead over at Long Beach Boulevard here, but for the most part, this is a wide open street, and it's a major street with multiple lanes of traffic here, so he might conceivably be able to kind of weave in and out and travel fast or slow, whatever you need, or whatever he feels he needs to keep this thing going. Okay, southbound, right turn, southbound Alameda, guys, from Firestone, and that's kind of where we are right now, and he's kind of parallel the train tracks. The train tracks are just on his left side here, so southbound on Alameda, that's where we are at right now from Firestone, and again, this guy is just kind of taking us all for a ride here. Let's see where this ends up over the course, hopefully, of the next few minutes. Given the fact that this guy is wanted in connection with some sort of a murder that took place, you might think that his level of desperation might be pretty high, so we don't know what he is thinking about, but again, it seems like a pretty desperate situation to be in, at least in his mind, because he just is doing whatever he can to avoid, stopping and being taken into custody here. 92nd. 92nd. We are 92nd Street westbound 92nd. Yeah, yes, it is going to be perhaps in the Florence area here, but South LA generally speaking here, yeah, east of the 110, west of Alameda. And again, we are on 92nd Street westbound now, and again, heading back in towards that South LA area here, guys. So, the ground units again, giving him maybe half a block's berth, and he's just turned northbound, basically out of sight of the ground units, and so the LAPD airship again overhead is able to keep tabs on this guy, and now the first unit is making that right turn and probably has eyes on this guy half a block ahead, but several units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of the LAPD on the ground are chasing this guy and continue to do so, and will hopefully be able to take this guy into custody, hopefully sooner than later. Guys? Fir Avenue, Firestone. Yeah, whatever suits him. Whatever suits him is the short answer there. You know, the LAPD has every capability of keeping up to this guy. You know, they can stay on his bumper if they chose to. You know, these guys are very talented, very experienced drivers here. Their vehicles are very capable of keeping up with the Dodge Neon, I can tell you that much here. But for some reason, they are choosing to keep back a little bit here. Again, the airship is overhead, keeping tabs on him. Maybe they are giving him a wider berth considering the nature of the want. And so, you know, maybe he's armed and dangerous, and maybe they think a sudden stoppage or a provocation might agitate him or irritate him and move us into a situation that we really don't want to be in. So, okay, guys, cross traffic. That's going to be Alameda. Alameda from Firestone, guys. Alameda from Firestone. He's going to be coming up on. He's going to get T-boned here. Okay. Woo. Okay. He's going to make it through. He's going to make it through. Yeah, I sure did. My gosh, Lee, you saw that. Firestone eastbound, passing Alameda this time. You know, just a couple of minutes ago, we saw him turn right southbound on Alameda, made that circle around the neighborhood here. But now he continues on Firestone, and we continue eastbound on Alameda, or I'm sorry, on Firestone past Alameda over towards, say, Santa Fe Avenue and Long Beach Boulevard here. He'll be coming up on a red light here. So there are 2 lanes of traffic, 3 lanes of traffic, in fact, and he looks like he wants to make... well, let's see here. We'll know in a couple of seconds because he's coming up on it here, and he's going to be in the slow lane of traffic here, so that puts him in a position. Okay, he's going to go right through the intersection there. So right through the intersection. That was going to be Santa Fe Avenue here, and next is going to be Long Beach Boulevard here as we continue east on Firestone. We're out of South LA proper, and now... excuse me, sorry about that. I'm just listening to the control tower talking to us here. But eastbound on Firestone, just coming up to the intersection of Long Beach Boulevard, and that's where we are right now. Let's see what he does. Looks like he might want to make a right turn southbound. Right turn southbound on Long Beach Boulevard from Alameda, or from Firestone is where we are right now. So, again, just... kind of doing whatever he has to do to avoid capture here. Now it's going to be a little bit harder to predict his moves. So in that respect, it might be a little bit more difficult to get a spike strip up ahead of him. But I can tell you that they are keeping very close tabs, and this guy is still being given about half a block of space by the LAPD ground units here. The air units are right on top of him, but again, just kind of looking up ahead of him. There is just a little bit of traffic here, nothing that he wouldn't be able to negotiate if he wanted to get around him. But let's see what he does over the course of the next several minutes here, guys. Let's just hope that this guy gives up. And time for TV5, it appears so. It's hard to know. This guy is just kind of in and out the edge of the Bravo here, but it appears we're out for now. 5, sir. Long Beach Boulevard. Okay, coming towards us, coming towards us. Tenaya, Cherokee, maybe. Michigan, maybe. Just off your left, Adam. Southbound, southbound. Okay, guys, we are southbound through the Southgate area here, southbound through the Southgate area here. We are on one of the residential streets southbound leading down to MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. here. And so we'll be there in just a matter of a few seconds here. But you see that this guy is basically playing a cat and mouse game here, and well up ahead of the LAPD officers here. We're making a right turn westbound. So right turn westbound. And that's going to be right over MLK, and we'd be just coming up on Long Beach Boulevard. So, yeah, essentially we're kind of making circles, if you want to say that, but hard to define a particular area here. But, interestingly enough, this is where we understood that the pursuit began, or at least came through when it first started about an hour ago here. So at any rate, we are now southbound back on Alameda, southbound Alameda from MLK. So again, through Southgate, we'll be coming through Linwood here. We'll be on Long Beach Boulevard heading down towards the 105 freeway. So I can tell you, it does, TV5 affirm I am. It appears that, go ahead. It sure looks like it. Without any direct confirmation, it sure looks like it. Visually, I can't see anything, and you kind of made note that there was no one visible in the passenger seat. It's kind of hard to see in the rear of the vehicle here, but it sure would seem that this guy is alone. So I guess we'll go with that at this point. So without any direct confirmation, that's all we know at this point. So we're essentially coming through Southgate here, and we're in a residential neighborhood, perhaps an area that he knows, because, again, as I mentioned, this is an area apparently that this person came through initially. And I'm going to try and get a street for you here. I think that's going to be Poplar, maybe Norton Avenue. Norton Avenue is going to be where we are here, and we are going to be traveling westbound on Norton, and he's just going to be coming into a traffic circle here, and that's going to be kind of where State Street, Los Flores, State Street and Los Flores come together, and he is coming around. Wow, okay, that doesn't look safe. Okay, yeah, he is going around the wrong way, around the traffic circle here, guys. He is going essentially around clockwise in a counterclockwise traffic circle here. So again, southbound, we're picking up State Street, and we'll be down towards Imperial Highway in just a matter of a couple of moments here. And he's right through the intersection at Imperial Highway and making that eastbound turn. So eastbound on Imperial from State Street. So that is where we are. We are in Linwood at this point. Linwood, guys. And he's going to be coming up on a unit. He's going to be coming up on, okay, he's right in front of what looks to be a shopping center. Wow, some evasive moves here. Oh, my goodness. Okay, some evasive moves to get through that little intersection there. But, again, this guy has made it through, and he's eastbound on Imperial Highway, and he'll be coming up on Peach Street. He'll be coming up on Long Beach Boulevard here in about the next 100 yards, where he does have a green light. He can get through there if need be. So, okay, now all four are stopped. So he's got a red light, and it looks like he's kind of stopped there. Let's see what gives. Okay, he stopped there. The LAPD is coming up. It looks like the driver door is opening, and it looks like yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I concur, guys. It looks like he might have thrown something out, possibly his keys. This is going to be Imperial Highway eastbound, right at Long Beach Boulevard here, guys. Imperial Highway, right at Long Beach Boulevard. We're right in front of a 76 gas station where this guy essentially pulled over. He pulled over, threw something out, possibly his keys, and now the LAPD is essentially directing this guy to obey their command so that they can take him into custody in as clean and safe a way as possible here. Now, it doesn't appear that there are any passengers at this point. He is backing away from the car. His arms are up. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. If he makes a fast move for something in his waist or belt pocket here, of course, we're going to have to pull out of the shot. But at this point, it looks like he wants to give up. It looks like he's tired of this thing going on and on here. But the dangerous thing is look at the pedestrians or look at the other commuters that are basically stopped at the light here waiting to see what goes on here. But essentially, this is happening right in front of a lot of people here on this street. So hopefully this ends peacefully. And it certainly looks like it, but you just never know until you get a team of officers over the guy and to get this guy into custody here where they can pat him down. And at that point, hopefully they'll be able to clear the vehicle here. But yeah, that is kind of an unusual situation where he just kind of stopped well ahead of the LAPD guys. There's the team of officers approaching the car. They're going to want to open up the trunk just to make sure that no one's in there. A secondary team of officers joining the first, and they're going to make an approach to the suspect here who's prone down, face down. at the intersection. This guy is basically on Imperial Highway, just a little bit west of Long Beach Boulevard here, and it looks like that first officer is down on this guy, and he's going to be taking him into custody here. At that point, they'll be able to pat him down. It looks like the car is going to be cleared, and that is certainly some good news here. This intersection is going to be tied up for a couple of minutes here while they work with this one suspect here. They are still traveling north and southbound on Long Beach Boulevard here, unbeknownst to a lot of the folks here that a very dangerous situation is occurring right here. So there's the suspect. He is up on his feet, and he's being guided away to one of the waiting cruisers. And yeah, this is definitely a good, safe, and clean end to a potentially very, very dangerous pursuit where we saw this guy blowing through stop signs, stoplights, going into opposing lanes of traffic, and just creating a very dangerous situation for a lot of pedestrians on the street as well as the commuters. So yeah, just a very safe and clean ending to a potentially dangerous pursuit here, guys. Okay, Elliot.